Well, hello everyone. Manny25 here, and basically what you see right here is I went and put together right here as an activity to talk about chat no worries, and basically that basically means is to where that yeah that the types of task, if it's going to be chores or jobs or anything like that, and then knowing about I'm like, oh no, I'm not looking forward to this, or any type of worries, and I'm not really talking about like Hakuna Matata such as no worries say from the Lion King. But you see right here is talk about chat no worries of like talking about like yeah, this right here would be an example right here of me back whenever I was about 12 months old. So about a year old whenever I was playing with these toys right here. They're like Warren to where one of those toys could have been a toy phone, like a toy cell phone. And I'm sure anybody say that, yeah, that the phones would not sound like beep, 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 that they would sound like a 1, 2, 5, 7, 7. But they a lot of times like you dial tones like you have on the phones. But let's just say that that was like your chat no worries, and yeah, like thinking that I'm sure most of us can remember that back whenever we were much younger, that a lot of times anybody say that yeah, well, long distance calls were very limited or anything like that, or if it's maybe for school reasons or anything like that. But on average, to where that you have right here's example right here of a bill, and I'm like, yeah, that whenever a kid will be playing with a toy, then necessarily to where like, yeah, well, any worries about that or any other kind of concern. But on the other hand, I guess say my point is to where that yeah, that if we come up to that time to where we start worrying about something, then a lot of times it's like really, I'm like I keep thinking that well, really that the more you worry about it, seems like the more it's going to get worse. So what's the best way of how to handle that to where that any worries that we may think of is to where that best ways of how to handle it to where to ease off the worries. And I went and drew these examples right here, these telephones right here, and like they would be like say for direct extensions or references or anything like that. But on average, to where you use them right here is the pen tool. But I'll go ahead and draw right here. I'm like, yeah, it's like an example right here of a so you have a phone, and I'm like that. If anybody were wondering that, yeah, that with the phone right here, you're like, hey, that you're like wondering necessarily you got right there is a phone, and then all of a sudden it's like a phone call, a phone that rings, and like yeah that you got this on your mind, and you got that on your mind, and now you got this on your mind, and now you got that on your mind, and like this would right here would be like yeah, what could be on my mind in this picture? Well, just thinking about it is to where that yeah, not really about that having to answer a phone call at a certain time, but then on your hand to this right here will be like, yeah, well, I think I can handle this because all I gotta do is just wait it's over the phone interview, and then right here could have been right here like chatting with somebody online about some sort of reason, or if it's anything about any other type of phone call related. And then this right here could have been me right here is like answering the phone. So it's like Warren to where you had these about three or four different lines, and you're like Warren to where yeah, chat with the person. But you have right here is example right here these phones right here, and you're like Warren to where that that you got your mind kind of bouncing from about four different different things here. It's like that well you got a meeting at 5, hey you got a phone call, you got a phone call expecting a phone call at about 5:30, and at 6 o'clock that you gotta work on something, and then maybe at 7 that you gotta turn in a form or something. So a lot of times it's like, yeah, chat no worries basically means is to where really it's all about, putting more work and time, it seems like, on the schedule. But on the other hand, that really, like, really, what seems to be putting the task together to where you really are trying to do something, work something, put something together, and solve something. And it seems like that, yeah, whenever you get a bill in the mail and then you may be worried about something that says on there, yeah, you like you got manage about the time and due date on the bill, and as well as the expenses. But As it's like, for anybody who used to be that, that used to always wonder to where that I'm like, yeah, that back whenever you were young, that you're so thinking about. I'm like, yeah, did we have worries back whenever we were younger? You're like wondering to where you wanted to play with a certain toy, have enjoy watching TV, that type of stuff. But then now it seems like to where that anything that you worry about, it's like really, it's all gonna be just fine. Just taking one thing at a time. You don't worry about this or that. So and a lot of times it's like anybody like wanting to where that they have right here is a phone, and I can go ahead and draw here as example right here of a headset. Anybody that wonders to where I'm like, yeah, headset. I'm like, yep. Got right here is a headset right there. Like a little headset to where I'm like, yeah, fits around my head like that right there. Anybody say, well, with the microphone especially. So I like wondering to where how often do we think that for anybody who likes the chat online is to where that quite a few of them if they use any headsets or anything like that, or if they use any Bluetooth or anything like that, like wireless devices. But on your hand, that yeah, I guess you say that'll be kind of close enough to like a headset right there, and then right here is a telephone. So yeah, that with these different, if I were to say working with these different symbols right here, like one to where you got the worries to where, well, what if you don't know how to use this? What if you don't know how to use that? It's just about like, don't worry about it. Just mainly thinking about one thing at a time is to kind of concentrate and knowing about we may think that almost every phone and every device is going to work about similar, and on your hand that really thinking about is to where that mainly concentrate on the basics. So you're like Warren to where that what are the basics necessarily? The basics are basically is to where that they have right here is me is like, yeah, does this picture right here look like that I have everything under control? This picture right here, oh well, I kind of somewhat know what I'm doing. This picture right here, it looks like to me it looks like to me like, well, I'm not trying to, act like a, what you call, one of those, those big expert, type of person, with the phone. And then this right here would be like, well, I kind of know what I'm doing. But then this picture right here is to where I'm like, really, that, you're just trying to get a better view maybe of the toy or something, but just crawling around. But anyway, but you have is like top I say for chat no worries. Basically like really that try not to let our worries get to us. Is like just take it one thing at a time and just think about something that more likely that you could really handle. It's like how good are we and then and so far it's a story to where our experience to where that a lot of the worries that we were concerned about there at the beginning that more likely is to where they get them solved. It's like anybody say that yep don't worry. Don't worry about it. Or, don't worry. Please don't worry. But other than that, they talk about here, so chat no worries. They say talk about is like understanding about the worries and, the ways of how to not worry is, don't worry, a whole lot about it. I'm sure, it'll go fine. But other than that, talk about right here, so chat no worries. Thanks for watching.